Sadie here, guys. Just wanted to remind you to like and subscribe to Fly Tales so I can keep digging and looking for muskrat. It's my favorite thing to do. Day one, we are going to go set some sets. Finally got my fur bearer license and we're stoked to get out. It's going to be me, Sadie, Lex, and we are going to get out and try to set some sets while we still got daylight. Had to work earlier and go to Salt Lake to get my trap number registration, but we're still stoked to be outside, and off we go. Earlier in the season, we came up here and scouted out this area, but it was frozen over and a lot of the places that now flow were completely covered in ice. So the first time back, we kind of struggled getting up to our location because of the ice or lack thereof, and we kind of had to make our own path through everything instead of going directly to the lodge. Unfortunately, we had problems with our GoPro, and it's in a waterproof case, so there's not going to be much audio on this video that I'm showing, but I'm going to do my best to narrate in the background. I know it's tacky, so forgive me. As we get closer and closer to our spot that we've scouted, we start to get excited. This is one of the biggest beaver lodges that we have found yet out in our adventures. So we're getting ready to make our plan, get a good path up to the beaver lodge, and we want to set the 330 Conibear that I have first, just because it's kind of a pain to carry around, but we've got to figure out how to get to our spot and where a good run is from the lodge. As I get set up, I originally had a foot loop on my rope so I could easily slide it through the Conibear and onto my foot, but come to find out my knot was too big, so I had to undo my knot to be able to fit the rope through the eyes of the spring. As I pulled on the first spring, it was a lot less tension than I originally thought and a little bit less intimidating setting the Conibear with the rope. I have set a Conibear by hand, but it was not a 330. I ran my rope through the second spring and quickly got the second spring in place and set the safety on. Had a little trouble, but it was a lot easier and a lot less intimidating than I thought it was going to be. So once my safeties were on my springs, it was time for me to open the jaws. The jaws had a lot less tension than I originally thought there would be which is a good thing because I am less intimidated about setting a Conibear 330 now. I also have the third safety that you need to have for setting a Conibear. I don't want any accidents in the field. These Conibears are very dangerous, and it is said that they can break your arm, so I want to take every safety step that I can to make sure that I'm safe and I do not get caught in a Conibear. If you notice the trigger is bent up and straight on one side, that is a modification for the river otter on the Provo River. So I'm just walking around looking for some sticks so I can get this Conibear set in place. I have a nice little run out of the backside of the lodge that I want to put the Conibear, so I just need to get a couple sticks that I can shove into the ground so the Conibear will sit nice and proper the way I want it to. So I've been struggling with ice because the weather turned cold for the end of February. I have to break away all this ice and then prep the area underneath. There's a lot of debris and sticks down there that I do not want to get caught in the Conibear and decrease my chances of catching a beaver. And yes, I almost fell in the water, but luckily I have good balance and I was able to save myself. Now I'm gonna try to get the sticks in the eyelets of the springs of the Conibear, get it positioned. I'm gonna grab another stick and set it up, make sure it's the right place, make sure it has the right angle, and make sure that it's not sticking up too much. So I'm to the final steps. I put a nice big thick stick off from the Conibear so I can stake it down and make sure that the Conibear doesn't go anywhere. Then I take the final safety off and make sure that my trap tag is on there, visible. This set is pretty much done. I just need to give Sadie some love and we are out of here. Now that the Conibear is set, we gotta cross back over the lodge, which is quite slippery, and we are headed upstream to a run to set a snare set where the beaver like to travel under the ice. So this is going to be my first snare setup. As you can see, there's a nice narrow channel. At one point in time the beavers had a lodge right here, but it looks like they chewed it up to make their passageway from the lodge upstream. That's the final product. I've got my snare set. With the sun going down, I'm going to put my trap tag on, and then we're pretty much out of here for the night. As we go back, Sadie always gets the lead. She finally gets to be a dog and run her energy out. As you can see, she always makes getting through things quite easy. Other people don't make it quite as easy as she does. So we just got done setting my first set. With the sun going down, we got out here late. It's only got 2 sets, 1 snare and a conibear for beaver. But I'm confident in the spots that we chose, and yeah, I'm gonna come back tomorrow and see what happens. Sadie got really cold. I don't know if Lex got cold. I kind of got cold. My hands got cold. My neoprenes had freaking holes in them, and so my hands are kind of cold, but snot's running down the nose. Lex fell, all that fun stuff. It's always a beautiful sunset. Doesn't matter, always a beautiful sunset. Sadie's marking her territory. You marking your territory, dude?
And this is what we're venturing through.
And this is what we're venturing through before it gets too dark.
So I guess you could say this is our trap line.
Yeah, you could say this is our own mini Alaska is what we call it. And you know, it's kind of earned the name Mini Alaska. The things that we go out and do are pretty fun. It's hard work, but we got to go that way.